raise this up a bit. What's up, everybody? I am sitting down. I also have this little book I got at the wall. Will the good Will. It's Ultimate Productivity by a Mr. Jim Stovall. He wrote 12 books after he lost his eyesight. He got some eye issues early in his 20s. That's halted his NFL career. You know, he was going to go into football, but turned to powerlifting instead. Then when he went totally blind, he started a television network called Narrative TV for people who are blind. Won some Emmy awards, you know, the dude is just the man. So his most famous work is called The Ultimate Gift. It's a fiction book, which was turned into a movie. This is broken down into 15 chapters, which were very easy to read. He dictated this book to his assistant Dorothy, who he shouts out in the book, which, you know, pretty chill. But the fact that this book was dictated it did bring up some interesting stylistic quirks. The whole time he repeats himself. A few chapters there will be repeating phrases and things that he brings up that aren't the point of the chapters. Like, he says over and over again that he reads more books than anyone that he knows, thanks to the miracle of high-speed playback audio tapes. I want to give him an out here when I say this, but I don't think it applies, because I would think that when you hear something and you hear it over and over again, it sticks into your brain easier. But that's not the case here, because he's not repeating pertinent information. He's just repeating things that are just parts of the story of his life. And I suppose that's less to do with the function of a repetition and more simply him writing this book in multiple sessions, and then those repeating phrases not being edited and chopped with, you know, the care of a craftsman. Because it does seem like those types of things aren't in books where people can see the words, because like seeing those words over and over again were just like annoying. But that does bring up the gripe that I have about this book, and that's the way that it's useful is roundabout, because he doesn't repeat pertinent things. There aren't too many pertinent things to repeat, because the majority of this book's usefulness leans heavily on a online survey called the Ultimate Productivity Survey. Yeah, profile that you could get on ultimateproductivity.com, but if you log in there today, you'll find this little webpage full of metal feng shui telling you that it's not there anymore. And this is not the first time this has happened with books where they have these online components. I know Tapping Into Wealth by what's her face, Rainier. After end of every chapter are those little QR codes, and not one of them work. That's not to say that those aren't good or useful. It's just they're a crapshoot at this point, because the NLP book that I read often is those links work and they are useful to help me understand the context of the exercises in the book. And also, I would say any For Dummies book will, I mean, the For Dummies franchise has a strong enough backbone that you probably won't have to worry about any online extra stuff disappearing. I don't think they're going to do that. But this one does, and much to its deficit, because he makes a point in this book. He states that each person is so unique that to try to tell one person how to do something is foolish at best. But I don't think that's an excuse either for the issue that I have with this book. Like, he made that survey with a team, of course, but he crafted that survey where he lays out different kinds of motivation, you know, like motivation towards pleasure and away from pain, for example. Different communication styles and submodalities, and I'm using all of these. I'm taking all of these from NLP because he doesn't have any of this in his book, and I assume that something similar would have been in the profile online. He went into that, I assume, only on the survey. So you would answer whatever questions and just get the answer on a sheet of paper. Pow! You're an away from person and you understand things. Audio, or auditorily primarily and kinesthetically secondarily. You would get the information that way. But in the book, he doesn't get into any specifics. He only has little vignettes, moments in his life when he learned things about his own motivational style or other generalities that are good to hear, that I did gain value from hearing, but in a broader motivational context. The only reason that I was able to use these stories to help build the concept of self-actualization in my own mind is because I had done NLP research through a couple of books, and I'm kind of obsessed with business books in general, right? And I think I brought this up during the 50 Cent video, where I said then you kind of have to be obsessed with the subject matter in nonfiction books, because no one book will give you the whole answer. And I did kind of fall for it with this book because it seemed like, understand productivity, understand your own success. It's simple, and I was like, sold. Yeah, I got sold on it, and it ended up, not really delivering what I needed it to, primarily because they leaned on something that required more maintenance than just printing out the pages once. You know what I'm saying? And that's unfortunate, but what can you say? I can't say I didn't enjoy this book. I did enjoy it. I don't know how much I gave it, right? But I did enjoy it. So all in all, I suppose if you're going to read this book, use it as motivation and a jumping off point for self-inquiry in these fields. There's actually a quote or a paraphrase from Zig Ziglar in here that said motivation is like a shower. And the shower you took last week or last month is probably worn off by now. And I like that a lot. Because it sure does feel that way. Like all of the answers are always at our fingertips, right? Yet how often do we go searching for them? And how often do we truly feel like solving our life, like solving whatever issues we have? Only when they're at the forefront. Anyway, this book is a good jumping off point for self-inquiry, and that is really the only way that you're going to get value from it. That being said, it is valuable. So that's what that is. Yeah, I got nothing else to say. I don't know why I'm sitting here waiting for something else to pop up.
You know what the most dangerous thing in America is, right?